Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. We're in Cave Creek, Arizona, and it's finally not windy. Throughout this whole trip, there's one thing that you've discovered that you love.
Yeah.
And it's right between us.
It's the Ocotillo cactus. I never have learned how to say it, but I love the look of it. It's crazy. It's got little arms sticking off everywhere. And when we first saw them, they weren't flowering. Now they're flowering.
They're
they have
beautiful.
Orange bursts that can't be controlled, and it's a lot like the wig that's under this hat. That's probably why I like them so much. Well, if it's your first time joining us for 5 Sip Friday, we nose this glass of whiskey that is a sample gifted to us by our Patreon community. We take 5 sips, we try to figure out what in the heck we're drinking. We say whether or not we like it, and ultimately it's revealed. And this one comes to us from our friend Barter Hordes of Pages and Pours.
Thanks, Barter.
If you're not following Pages and Pours on YouTube, what are you doing with your life? Let's get on to the nose.
Yeah. So I just have to start off by saying it's just so nice that it's not windy and or noisy. I feel like all of our 5 sips this year, except for the plane coming overhead.
It's the first plane I've heard in an hour and a half that we've been here.
So I feel like it's gonna be a good day.
All right, I'm with you.
It smells nice.
Yeah, there's a little funkiness here. Little apple cider, cinnamon, vanilla, musty oak.
Our patrons have been throwing us some curveballs this season.
Yeah, some fantastic curveballs.
Fantastic.
We've been
curveballs.
tripped up constantly. I've been tripped up nonstop. I think I've been more confused this year than I have been in the first 3 seasons combined. So great job to everybody who's contributed some of these really, really confusing samples.
Well, I'm ready to drink this.
Okay.
Let's start the weekend. Hot tamales, red hot cinnamon candy, those little discs. It's all cinnamon.
There's a lot of cinnamon here. Yeah, I totally agree. Man, is this familiar. The Rolodex in my head is spinning. It's gonna catch fire. It's spinning so hard. Man, that cinnamon is for real.
That's all I taste. I feel like I just popped one of those candies.
The brown sugar, the musty sort of oak that I was getting on the nose is showing up here. The apple has really toned down a lot. Not butterscotch or caramel or anything like that. I'm not getting much of that, but it is spicy. I have a hunch right off the bat.
Oh, yay! I'm so excited. Sip number 2?
Let's do this.
There's a little bit of that baby powder funk that makes me think this is an MGP.
And there's something floral, although if you look around as things are blooming,
Oh.
my allergies are in full bloom as well. So maybe it's not the floral of the whiskey. It could just be the environment. It makes it so much trickier.
It has a nice proof point to it too, because I'm getting warm already just from those 2 baby sips.
Yeah. Man, this is really satisfying. And it's hot out today. I'm wearing long sleeves, but this is a sun shirt. It's just because when I'm in the sun, I turn pink and I combust. I'm trying to prevent that. And so it's really not, it's not really the most conducive temperature for drinking whiskey. And so I think anything is going to taste a little spicier than it actually is in this environment. I have to say, I'm still enjoying it. I like the flavors that we're finding here.
Yeah, let's go on to sip number 3. I got a hint of mint on the nose as I was drinking that in.
A little peppermint here on the palate. That spice is interesting because I think it could be rye. I think the mint, the way that it's presenting, I think that there's something interesting about the oak here. I feel like maybe there's it's not a double oaked quality because I don't think it's that sweet. It's strikingly well balanced. I'm getting a lot of things here. I'm liking a lot of things here.
Yeah.
And I want to know what this one is because I want more of this.
Yeah, and I'm getting a nice hit of brown sugar on that sip. So that was kind of a nice break from the spiciness that we had the previous ones.
Yeah, that balance is showing up. It's kind of coming in waves, but I like that. It's a whiskey that takes you someplace. Sip number 4?
Yeah. I'm glad you remembered because I couldn't remember which one we were on.
I could be wrong.
I feel like it has such a subtle oak presence. I know you're getting a lot of oak. I'm not really getting that too much here, but it's very subtle.
It's not powerful, but I can tell that, the flavors a lot of the time in whiskey.
Yeah.
All the color, a ton of the flavor is coming from charred oak barrels.
Yeah.
That is presenting here. We're getting a lot of those qualities that we like. Vanilla buttercream, a little bit of caramel apple coming here, a hint of honey, some sugar dusted walnuts. It's not a ton of nuttiness, but there's a lot to like here. And there are a few whiskeys I can think of off the top of my head that I've gotten these notes on. I don't think it's any of those whiskeys, though.
Bummer.
Sip number 5, and I think I'm gonna go all in on a big sip of this one to see if I can't figure it out.
Yeah. Julie sipped that one.
Here we go.
My head is going in 2 different directions because to me it tastes a bit
You could probably get a
MGP.
treatment for that.
Probably should. But to me this one tastes a bit MGP.
Mm-hmm.
But in my head I feel like it's a Kentucky distillery.
Really? Wow. See, with Barter Hordes, with the Pages and Pours YouTube channel,
True.
I've come to expect the unexpected, and I'm always thinking Scotch, Irish, even Indian single malts. It's all on the table with Barter Hordes. So I'm really racking my brain trying to think outside the box.
Wow.
Could this potentially be from a different country?
I did get a little citrus there at the end. I'm thinking about this one because I've got no clue. But I got a little citrus on the finish that was interesting. I was not thinking this was outside the it didn't even cross my mind. I was like, oh, finally, it's either a bourbon or a rye.
It's got an orange citrus zest to it on the finish. And you're right, that's what brings it around. The mint and the citrus on the finish. The nose, you think you're going to get a really musty, oaky bourbon. And then on the palate, you get hit up front with a bunch of spice that then settles into all these other sweet flavors. And then the finish, that hint of citrus, a little dance of spice on the tongue. I'm formulating an idea here. I know I'm not going to be anywhere near this one, but this is a really fun sample that I enjoyed the heck out of. Before we do our guesses, did you like this?
I did like it. I thought it was a pretty subtle drink overall. There was nothing that just hit you in the face with flavors or made you want more flavors. I felt like it was really nice and balanced.
Well, this was a really fun sample. I think that this was tricky. You seem like you've got all the confidence in the world.
I have no confidence. That's
Right.
that's why I'm all bravado over here.
I love it. All right, let me know, what do you think this is?
It's baseball season, so I'm going to take a big swing on this one.
Julie with a big cut. Here it comes.
So I think the proof point in here, it felt like it was a little bit warm. It ended up not being so warm, so I'm going to go 105 on the proof.
Okay.
I'm going to go MGP. There was just enough MGP notes in there to convince me that it is MGP. And even though there's those mint, and I always feel like that's a dead giveaway for a rye, I'm going bourbon. So bourbon, MGP, 105, and I'm taking a big swing and just saying it's from the East Coast, maybe like South Carolina or Georgia or something like that. I don't know what it would taste like, but I'm going East Coast. I'm taking the whole coast.
Man, all right. Well, I like this. I like this a lot because I'm actually going East Coast whiskey myself.
Oh, really?
You said bourbon.
I did.
I think that this is a rye.
Yeah, probably is.
It has a huge amount of spice to it. I think that the oak is imparting a huge amount of the character on this whiskey. I think it's really creating something special. As much as I love this whiskey, the brand that I actually think this might be from is not a brand that I've had a lot of love for in the past.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure that this whiskey comes from the East Coast, maybe Vermont area,
Oh, nice.
but it's produced in Canada,
Okay.
100% rye, I believe. I think that this is a Whistle Pig product. Proof-wise for this whiskey, I don't think it's over 100 proof. And a lot of times when I'm on the fence, I'll say, oh, it's 100 proof exactly, just
Right.
because that's a clean guess. But on this one, I'm actually going under because the finish has lingered and then it's dissipated. Even all that spice went away pretty quickly. That indicates to me that it's under 100 proof. I don't think it's as low as 90 proof. I'm gonna go somewhere in the middle. I don't know any whiskeys that are 95 proof outside of the Old Forester Statesman, so I'm gonna go 96 proof, a very specific guess today for this whiskey. And there you go, Julie and I, we are on different sides of the map in terms of what type of whiskey it is, but on the same side of the map as for where we think it comes from.
And to be honest, I was thinking it would be the southern part of the East Coast, and you're thinking northern, so that's how we'll differentiate today.
We're gonna get it all figured out, I guarantee you.
It's definitely a Washington whiskey.
Well, yeah, if this comes from Washington State, we can just shut it down. A huge thank you to Barter Hordes and the Pages and Pours YouTube channel. Thank you very much for this wonderful sample. As always, thanks to all of you for watching. Here we go. What do we got? Is it Whistle Pig?
Well, when you were talking, I was like, I wonder if this is going to be found north or something. It's not, but it's close. It is Lot 40 Dark Oak Canadian Rye, 100% rye, first column distilled, and then pot distilled, aged in American oak cask, char number 2, and then it finishes in heavily charred oak cask, char number 4. And for the proof, what did you say was the proof?
96.
It is 96 proof.
We did okay. A little Canada. Not necessarily East Coast, and
You said Canadian
proof.
rye.
This is phenomenal. And here's the thing about this whiskey. Thank you, Robert, for this sample, because he stumped us both. The tasting notes on this whiskey that I was giving: honey, vanilla coated, caramel, apples, and that dusting with a little bit of a walnut, and cinnamon all over the place. Those are the tasting notes that we gave on Lot 40 Dark Oak. When we tried it
Right.
about a year ago, a little longer than a year ago in a video, we know this whiskey. We love this whiskey. We just couldn't identify it in the wild. So at least I know that my palate is working, even if the Rolodex in my head isn't working. And you know what? I'd rather have my palate working well than my brain anyhow.
You might not have nailed it exactly, but man, you were on the right path, and I feel like you did phenomenal.
Well, that's a very nice thing to say from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There was nothing left of mine.